Hi everybody! Today I'm going to show you how I take my wrapped rock and attach it to a necklace. And I'm also going to show you how I make my necklaces. In a previous video, I showed you how to wrap your rock with hemp string. And in this video, I would like to show you how I attach it. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to leave a link down below so that it's easy for you to get to, because these necklaces are absolutely gorgeous and I get so many compliments on them, and you will too. Let's get started. Here is what you will need for this project. I get my fishing line and I measure it to the size of the necklace that I'm using as my example. And then I add a little bit more because it's better to have too much than not enough. You could use a necklace as a guide, or you could wrap a string around your neck to determine how long you would like your necklace to be. Now I measure out my hemp string. I used 2 pieces of hemp. I made each piece of my hemp 6 times the size of the necklace that I want to make. Then I fold it in half. The next thing we do is make our clasp, and you want your clasp to be nice and strong. Braiding my clasp is the best way to make it strong. I fold my 2 long pieces of hemp in half to see where I will start braiding. I estimate where the bottom of one side of my clasp will be. I use a small piece of scrap hemp and my pre-cut fishing string to tie a knot to use for my braid. I get my clamp or piece of tape to hold my strings in place. The small hemp string will be braided along with the fishing line. Once my braid is long enough to go over the bead, I tie it. Here is the clasp. Now I cut off any short strings on the knot. I double check to see if it fits over the bead. Now I clamp or tape my strings to the table. I make sure I have my small beads picked out. I put 2 hemp strings on the right and 2 on the left. The center strings are my short hemp string and my fishing line. I am going to start all my loops on the right side in order to give a spiral look to the necklace. I get my right 2 strings and make a loop by putting them under the strings in the center. I take the left 2 strings and put them under the strings that made the loop. I bring those strings up and over and through the loop. Then I pull it tight. This is the only macrame knot you will use. I put 10 knots between each set of beads. Once I get to my 10th knot, I cut my short hemp string in the center. We will now only tie our knots around the fishing line. I usually put 3 small beads between each set of 10 knots. I continue till I hit the point where the pendant will go on the necklace. I use my guide necklace to help me. Now I get my pendant and separate the 6 strings. I lay 3 strings over top of the fishing line and continue to knot over top of the 3 strings and the fishing line. The pendant is easy to slide until you start knotting on the other side, so feel free to give yourself room to work. After I finish the 10 knots, I pull the 3 strings of the pendant until the pendant sits flush with the knots. Now it is time to choose the side of the pendant that I want to face outward. I put the fishing line over the front of the pendant. I put 3 beads on the line to sit on the front of the pendant. I get the other 3 strings from the pendant and put them with my fishing line. Now I continue to knot 10 knots on the other side of the pendant around the 3 strings and fishing line in the center. Once you finish 10 knots, you cut the 3 strings off on both sides, like this. Make sure you don't accidentally cut your fishing line. When both sides are even, I stop and get my wood bead. I cut my strings even, so it is easy to thread my bead. Now I thread the bead and make 2 knots on the end and cut the strings. The last thing I do is use tacky glue to glue my knots. This prevents the knots from coming undone. I would like to give a huge shout out and a special thank you to Anna Humphreys and Dawn Theus for asking me to do this video. I have also gotten a couple other suggestions from Facebook. I'll leave that link down below if you want to subscribe to Facebook too. If you give this necklace a try, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye! Don't miss our future video, how to make a tie-dye t-shirt with Sharpie markers. You don't smell off. We're hooked together. You're a goof.